said you joined Knoxville when you sitting on 1988 and doing the beat pretty much most of the time. Was that your first job in journalism?
Oh no, I started in, my first job was in Columbia, Missouri. I went to journalism school at the University of Missouri, and my first job was at the Daily Tribune in Columbia in 1981, and I was there for 3 years, and then was in San Jose. Worked at the Mercury News for a couple of years, and then there was a year where I freelanced a little bit for a paper back in Grand Rapids, Michigan, which is where I'm from, and traveled, did other things, and then ended up down here in 1988.
Have you ever thought about working in any other section of the news besides sports, or has it always been
No, I mean, I've written some at some of the other places I've been. I've done a little bit of like travel type stuff because I have traveled, and I've done some general features. But sports was always you had more freedom, to write, and it was more interesting to me. I mean, the hours aren't the greatest. I mean, you work when your work is other people's play, so you're kind of running upstream from what everyone else does. But there's just nothing else in terms of coverage and writing that would really appeal to me like this.
Keep from getting complacent on the beat, making sure you're always up to date on whatever breaking stories.
You know, a lot of that's just kind of your personal approach to how you do things. I mean, it's easy. You're right. There are times when it can get you plow the same earth a lot of times, but if you just have to be professional about it and look for new angles and look for new fresh stories. And the business has changed so much here recently with more. I've got more responsibilities. I shoot video now, and the blogs are giving you a little bit more of a. It's almost like you've got a little more freedom to kind of be interpretive in what you write. So you just have to work at it and be professional about it.
Is there anything other than time that helps you gain the trust of players and coaches when you're on the beat? Anything you can do that kind of helps you?
No, I think you're right. I think it's kind of a. I was helped when I came on this beat because I followed a guy who was a younger guy, and he was really trying to prove himself. And I think he was a little heavy-handed with some of the stuff he did. And so when I came in, by comparison, I think they were a little more comfortable with me because I'd been around the block a little bit more and realized you got to pick your spots. If you're going to be critical or be a little hard, you got to pick your spots. And let's face it, this beat hasn't provided much opportunity for that. I mean, he's won 8 national championships at scads of 30-win seasons. I mean, if they're behind in the first half, it's not that big of a deal. And so I think I was helped initially because of who I followed, but yeah, you just have to put in the time and show them that you care about how you do things and that they can trust you. But that only comes with time and with experience with them.
Of all the beats you covered, not asking which team was the best, but which was the most fun to cover, whether it's basketball, football, anything that you followed all year, just had the most fun.
I covered the Missouri. It's funny, Missouri's in the SEC now because when I covered them, they were in the Big 8, and it's just so strange that they're in there. I covered that beat. That was the first major beat I had, and I really enjoyed covering football. But this beat's been a lot of fun too. I've covered a lot of championships here. I've basically covered of the 8. I've been on deck for 6 of them, and the travel with this team has been great too. I mean, I've been to Hawaii multiple times, been to the Virgin Islands a couple times. I'm going to the Bahamas in a couple of weeks. That's a fringe benefit it's really hard to beat, and it's just been good people here too. I mean, it's been it's funny when the first thing I thought I wanted to do was be a history teacher when I was in school. And I sort of matriculated into this. And at some point, maybe 10 years into this beat, I realized you're kind of a history reporter here in a way. I mean, when you're on a beat that long, and then when they started really winning championships in the 90s and went to another level in terms of their popularity, I realized that you're sort of covering history here. So that's been kind of a nice little fringe benefit to this.